You're live and now on Facebook.
Well, thank you kindly. Okay, so thank you again. Let's call this technology committee meeting to order. And again, my apologies for being a little bit behind schedule, but it looks like we have a quorum. So let's go, I guess, get started with the minutes. Um, so did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes before we move into the approval of the minutes? Or there need some corrections need to be made?
They were fine. I mean,
Okay. So with that being said, I'm assuming there are no other corrections or no corrections. The minutes stand approved. And I guess, Alex, if you would, my apologies, I'm driving here, so I want you to go ahead if you host the meeting and kind of go through the agenda, if you would, please, sir.
Sure. Moving on, do we have any commissioner business?
I don't have anything outstanding. Commissioner Guider, anything that you have outstanding that you need to have some conversations about?
no, not at this time. Thank you.
Right. So Alex, thank you again. Go right ahead.
And any county administrator business?
Nothing for me at this time, Alex.
Okay. Moving on to the discussion items, we have 4 items for today. The first one is an update on our wireless infrastructure project for the courthouse. We are happy to announce that we have completed with the courthouse portion of the project. We've had some positive feedback from staff and from some of the public that have been on it. We increased bandwidth and accessibility and coverage throughout the courthouse. This project is evolving, so as needs arise in the courthouse and the rest of our buildings, we do have the ability to expand it and add more devices and increase the coverage as needed. And so we were able to complete that on schedule. Do you have any questions on that item?
Not on my behalf. Any questions on that item? Okay, right ahead.
The second item is an AV upgrade for our EOC building, and I think Jason has some presentation with that. Go ahead, Jason.
Yes, what I was asking the technology committee, hold on, I don't know if I'm going live. Okay. Can everybody hear me and see me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Our audio visual, let me give you a little bit of background. Our audio visual equipment at Emergency Operations Center has been there since the building was built about, I think it was 2011. And we've noticed over the last few years when we try to get things repaired, they're having to buy the parts to repair the audio visual system on eBay and other places like that because they're outdated. So at the end of this year, I was able to save, not do some other projects, so and basically replace and upgrade the audio visual equipment in phases. In this first phase, the equipment inside the Emergency Operations Center itself, replace it and update it, and the cost is originally came in at about $120,000. I told them we were not going to be able to do that, or I could not do that. And I've got to go back, rework, and do some and go into different phases and reuse the stuff that was not end of life. And it got the price down to $71,374. I do have my money in my budget to cover this, so I was asking the technology committee permission to put it on the commission agenda. I've got a placeholder there now, and answer any questions that the board may have here about what I'm trying to do and make sure everybody's in agreement with what I'm trying to do.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
you say you've got the money in your budget. How short were you to replace?
Of the other to do everything about 40. I've got this part of the project is going to cost $71,000 just over. The total project originally was going to be about $120,000.
Oh, okay, so that's 50,000. Yeah, 50,000.
Yes, ma'am.
So now you get your fees from the Comcast and people like that.
No, ma'am. My budget is through the Board of Commissioners. I get a little bit of money from GMA each year, which uses about 50. I usually get about from GMA for our emergency management grant. I get around 50, about 50,000. Yeah, we meet that match by my grant. I bring it up every. You might remember I bring it up every once a year when we do the we call it PPA money, and so this is so that's.
I think I was.
I'm funded through general fund and that money.
Yeah.
Not 911.
Okay.
Okay, they won't let me touch 911 money.
I always get your departments mixed
That's
up.
okay. Yeah, we're the same building, and we're sort of located, work very closely together. So I understand completely.
He gets his money from Comcast.
Yes, from your 911 funds.
Yes. Yeah.
So whatever you see on your cell phone.
But it's good that you got money. So seems like you did a good job bringing it within budget. So I'm okay with it, of course.
And that's something I was going to add. So for clarity, that there is this is a budget neutral situation for what you're dealing with, or I guess no cost.
I will not be asking for any supplements to cover the rest of the cost this year.
Got it. This year, okay, got it. And are there any costs associated with it after the fact, for maintenance and everything else, or I mean? Normally, I mean, for the past, since the system's been in place, we pay around between $7,000 and $11,000 a year for them to do the maintenance on it. Of course, we'll have stuff included because of the overrides in this originally, so that'll go down. But over time, when it first started going outdated, I started trying to go to pay as you go, and I found out how much their fees were for their engineers and stuff like that when things need to be reprogrammed. And I quickly brought it back for you guys. We renewed that contract because it got expensive quick if you didn't keep the maintenance on it. So it will be cheaper because most of the equipment will be upgraded and new, so that'll go down a little bit. But after that there'll be a yearly cost, and it goes up each year as the system gets older. They raise the price, of course, because as things get older, they had to work on it more. And as the system gets I guess improved, you automatically get those upgrades, correct? Or is it
so we'll do this phase here. We'll replace a lot of the system this time. I've got another room that's a conference room. I'm not going to touch it right now. That was where a lot of the money from the other part of the budget was. And I can make it work. I don't use it as much as we do the emergency operations center. We used it on a regular basis for training. Especially and of course we have unusual events, so I try to keep it hopping because the worst thing, if you're not using 6 months and you have an event, you try to bring everybody in and nothing's working.
Right.
It's a bad time to find out. So that's why I always allow trainings in here and any kind of exercises we do and meetings too, just to keep everything in use. So it's not just 2 or 3 times a year deal. Try to get the best of our money and make sure everything's operational.
Got it. Okay. But again, though, so all this is within your budget, and as you saw, as the system as it needs to be upgraded or the software changed or whatever the case may be, then you're within I guess the maintenance side of this. You still in at least within your budget, I guess.
Yes. So this year, then, and the next year, of course, we'll have the next budget. Yes, I'll be good next year also.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to add or any other questions you want to add on to this? Okay. And Alex, I guess I'll say to you, any issues with our infrastructure, with what he already has and where he's actually going? You look pretty good on that end.
Yeah, we can support the new upgrade, and as it expands, we can also tailor our infrastructure to support it.
Okay. So you're okay with it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Rolling right along.
Thank you.
I have no other questions. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks
David.
for the update.
So item number 3, I want to give an update on our tax software migration implementation. I spoke with our project manager on Friday about the status of it. We recently set up a website, an internal website where we can upload data from our current system into the new system, and they can continue the conversion of that data. We had some security bridges we had to cross with that, but we have the device in place and the data conversion and uploading is underway. They assured me it's on time and on schedule, and I will keep updating the the board and the technology committee as we move along. Do you have any questions on that item?
So are they on? They're not on Tyler yet, right? Is that what you're saying?
I believe some of the data is still being converted.
Okay.
Oh, we're not on Tyler yet.
Okay. But will you be on Tyler by year end, you think?
Well, what I know is happening. I don't know, Alex. Did you get the equipment that they shipped and that we were waiting on? Because the last message I got, Raul was saying that they didn't have the equipment. Is that it?
Yeah, we have the devices sent in. I believe we got it last week. And Ruel is got it configured. It's being added to the data center so we can expedite that data conversion.
Okay, and the last thing I heard, Mrs. Geithner, is that we are on schedule so far. We're hoping to be able to play with the data by end of February, 1st March. And then we're supposed to start working on the assessor side to get their data and stuff uploaded, and they're preparing that. And I believe Steve's on the line also. He can probably tell you a little more about his side, but so far it looks like we're on schedule. I think we got some firewall issues or some security issues that Alex and them have to work through, and if they get that worked through, we should be on schedule. Yeah, we should be going on live in March to test the data. And then Steve, I believe, is going, they're starting to upload his data.
So the 2022 digest will be from Tyler. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that'll roll over. Whatever we didn't use, it should roll over into the 2022, and we should be up and running. And hopefully, I'm hoping by the next digest that we're all converted. That's what we're shooting for. But we got to get the assessor data in there. And Steve, I'll let you talk to that.
From our side, it was started a little bit late, but the data conversion has started. Well, data acquiring. We have. I know that IS has sent over our backup data, and they are actually retrieving current data as we speak. So I know there is data conversion going on as we speak. The most current thing from the tax assessor standpoint is the commercial property revaluation. The team is, the Tyler team is here. They were actually here today, and they're ready to go. We are having little teething pains with getting access to the network. They're going to need email and remote access. So I am working with IS to get this going, and there will always be security concerns. So as soon as we can sort out the security concerns, that part will start with the revaluation. But once the revaluation is done, they're also going to represent our values with appeals. So we're going to have Tyler Technologies personnel also representing us where appeals are concerned for short period during the appeal process. So we're just trying to get that part with remote access to our network. They're going to be uploading commercial property data on our current WinGap, and then it's going to be converted once Tyler Technologies is implemented. So it's a two-part process.
Okay. That's all my questions. I just wondered if the 2022 digest was going to be on Tyler or still on WinGap. So
We're working hard to get it on Tyler. So hopefully we can get it on Tyler.
all right. Okay.
All right. So thank you, Commissioner Goddard. So Greg, so are you guys gonna, I mean, hopefully flip the script, flip the settings that you said in March at 100%, or you guys gonna use one as the backup until you really are secure with Tyler?
We still have the one as a backup until we're fully up and running with Tyler. We almost have to do that.
Yes.
But yeah, we're using them as a backup until we're fully up and running with Tyler.
Right, because I want to make sure all the bugs, and I know you too want to make sure all the bugs are out of it before you kind of full-fledged and turn off the other one. So.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to turn off the other one until we're fully secure with Tyler having all the information, because I don't want to get to the digest and then we can't run the digest. That would just be
correct.
Truly fatal.
Yes.
So we're going to have to run both for a while to help answer your and Mrs. Geiger's question. We will be running both for a while. And once Tyler is fully up and running and loaded, and then we are tested, then we can run the new digest with Tyler. We were trying to get the tax assessor on board so that we would run both systems with Tyler by June, but we don't know if that'll take place with the assessor's office yet. So hopefully it will.
And how long will you have these guys on site with you, or how much, when it comes to training and any bugs that we may run into as we're going through this process, how long are you going to have them on board with you? Is there a time frame, or 6 months, a year, or what is that?
It'll probably be about 6 months altogether.
And that's 6 months.
If need be, we'll keep them longer, but I figure about in 6 months we should be done.
Okay.
That we'll probably be done before then, but we just gave it a 6 month time frame.
And is that a cost to us, or is it a cost to them for us doing business with you guys?
It's all included in the cost we're already expending.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if we need them longer, it won't be a cost, or if we need them longer, there's an additional cost.
How should I put this? I don't know yet, but we're gonna try to get everything. Yeah, we're gonna try to get everything for free.
Absolutely.
So I can't answer that question yet, but I assure you, we're gonna do everything in our power to be done on time and release them.
Good. Okay. All righty. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else got any other questions?
I would like to add just some clarification on the security portion.
Okay.
Every time we add a device that's not ours to our network or grant access, there is a little bit of scrutiny that we have to do. It's just the way that things are right now. So we have completed that. We all went through the device and did the configuration, and shows no bugs or anything like on it. And he's working right now on getting that installed and granting all the permissions that we need to grant. But that's just part of doing business these days. We have to be extra careful with the things that we add to our network. So that has been completed and is being implemented right now.
And so those firewalls and all those things, you're going to make sure that whatever access they need, I guess, that be accessible. However, for those that don't need that, you got them in a box where they can only use or access certain things, correct? Or
we had to segregate the network, so it'll only be essentially we have to create a network where it has specific rules where they're on a separate network, but also have very specific access to the WinGap system. They can transfer the data, but with also not being able to get any access to the rest of our network. So there's a lot of custom rules that we have to create in order to do that. And that's why it takes the time that it takes.
Okay. And you guys are coming along with that pretty well, or are you guys okay?
I believe it's completed. I think Israel is working right now with the Tyler team to get that installed in the server room.
Okay.
Alex,
Yes.
is the Tyler file going to be backed up into the cloud? Where's the backup on this?
Well, eventually this will be hosted on the Tyler cloud, so it will be backed up on their network. They have like a custodial responsibility for it on their data center.
Good. Anything else, Commissioner Guidance?
Well, I'm sure that they've got a secure site, but anything's hackable. But if the door is open, it's open. So I just wondered if they back it up into the cloud.
Yeah, they have to adhere to strict regulations because of their holding tax information. So they're regulated by the same agencies that we would be regulated by, and they have to adhere to the responsibility of that data, just like we do. And they have a way larger infrastructure than we have, so they have the capability of doing that. I know locally they're doing that for Coffee County right now.
And will they be backing up the data every day, 2 or 3 times a day, in case something drastic happens?
I don't know the exact specifics of their backup infrastructure, but and I can get that for you. But I believe that they have the policies in place where they have readily available backup where a disaster would happen. Not only in one physical location, but they probably have multiple physical locations.
Good. Okay. All right. Thank you. And you're back.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions? But I too, Alex, would probably like to know kind of what that looks like, just so we'll know. But outside of that, so that you'll know as the IT guy, that this stuff is backed up, at least from Douglas County's perspective, and we are safe to say that it's secure and backed up if needed.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions unless somebody else have other questions. Okay, let's roll right along.
All right, moving forward to the fourth item and last item, speaking on security. You probably remember a couple of months ago, the technology committee approved the firewall upgrade for our courthouse and our whole network. We have started that project. We were waiting to finish the wireless project. This will probably be our last project for the year. We're expecting completion time to be somewhere in January. This is a fairly large project as well because it involves security and hardware implementation. Once it's completed, though, we would be at the same security level as the state. They currently use the same product as we do. For security purpose, I can't mention it here, but we did meet about this and we discussed it. And I wanted to give you guys an update on the status of that and when we expect that to be completed, which is somewhere the end of January.
Sounds good to me. Any questions, anybody? Great. Okay, Alex, is that the last part of the agenda?
That is the last item.
Okay. Did anybody else have anything to add to this agenda before we adjourn? Well, again, thank you guys, and again, my apologies for the lateness, but we appreciate it. You guys have a great day, and this meeting of technology stands adjourned.
Thank you.